always, I hope it gets better for you. So, in trying to stay in line with bringing out content for you guys every day here, that's my goal for this channel for like this whole summer, as long as I can. I decided let's check out the fish room section up here. So fish room tour upstairs. I gotta top off some tanks. Figured we could go through some of these aquariums, talk about them, talk about what's going on, because there's a lot going on there for me to just make separate videos for them. And I figured this will give you guys an opportunity to ask me questions as well. So hello everybody in the chat. Great to see y'all in here. And this is actually more or less Wesley's room. He's always playing in here. This is pretty much where he stays. This couch is like his trampoline. But this is his view, his office. This tank is one of my top favorites in the whole fish room right here, is the Fluval Aquascaping tank from Aquatic Experience from way back 2017. We got Philippine fern in here, a humongous Philippine fern growing all the way up and out. We got some Pilo moss mixed in with a little HC, the baby tears. Need to go through here, trim all the dead off. I usually don't even bother with anything because these guys will eat whatever. And these are some, they were rainbow tiger endlers, and I mixed them with albino galaxy guppies. So there's some really neat males in here going on that are kind of just like tigers, and some have like a rainbow tail to them. Of course, they're so fast. That one you can see kind of rainbowish. But hello everybody in the chat. I'll just see you all in here. I will ramble on first about these tanks for a while, and then we'll get to the questions. Some long fin platinum danios. Absolutely beautiful. Very, very busy tank. As you can see, there's lots of space for them to breed out into. This is actually really big lava rock. We've got manzanita wood that's kind of layered into the tank. This Pilo moss has really been taken over though. But it looks really nice over on this side with how it branches out. I have never once cleaned this filter either. Since 2017, this thing has been running. It's a Fluval. I think it's a 206. It's got the little priming thing. Once in a while it'll get clogged up, it'll get a little slow. I'll just hit that little priming pump a few times. It's good, it'll keep running. It's a champ. I ain't even touched it once. But look how clean and clear the water is. Crystal clean and clear. And this is actually one of the hardest to grow aquarium plants in the hobby. This is a Hudolati deformis. As you can see, look at the stalk on that thing. It's humongous. There's actually Philippine ferns trying to grow within the stalk and roots of this thing. Like attach itself to it. I don't know how that's gonna do or fare. You can see the Philippine fern there trying to attach itself to the stalk of this big Hudolati deformis. Which those things are really tough to grow without CO2. Right now, I do have a CO2 tank on it. It's not running. That's why my HC, my baby tears, really isn't doing much. I do have it salvaged up here at the top. So whenever I do get my CO2 running, I can get more of the Pilo moss out and let that grow if I want to. But since this is growing up top and getting some air action, it gets enough CO2 from the atmosphere that it can still handle being in this situation. So really cool tank. This is one of my favorites in the fish room. And this is just for those who haven't seen my channel before, and look how skinny this thing is. It's super skinny. I don't know what size that is, but this is only one section of many within my fish room. Many of you guys follow my channel know about the pond situation going on back here. Right now it's super muddy, so we're doing indoor stuff. But we're getting there. Got parts and pieces for that all set up. And over here is pretty much my quarantine section. This is where we pretty much got to do our top off. So down here's Wesley's tank. I just got to clean it up. It's growing out some Melanitania parvas right now. Some rainbow fish. It's got some nice crypts in there. Lots of Rotalia colorata. Lots of algae going on because I've been feeding it heavy with all these babies. Kind of trumped the fish over. But see, with the algae doesn't, I don't mind it because I can always get rid of the algae. Like all these plants, that's easy to clean up with a water change and just pulling that algae out. A couple water changes. The reoxygenation of water changes after you pull that stuff out helps break up all the little pieces. Here we got some sea allanite. Absolutely love these rainbow fish. Some of my favorites. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rainbow fish. That one's got a funky tail. And then we got some Dalmatian guppies. Oh, there's the male. He's back there. Where they kind of got this spotted tail. Females are really colorful too. Look how colorful she is. Once again, that Java fern. Or not Java fern, but Philippine fern. And a huge thing of Brazilian pennywort and Rotalia colorata all mixed in. Eventually I gotta get rid of all this, but it is really, really cool with all the flowers. It's just a jungle. It's absolutely amazing. And you see it in the bottom there where it's just kind of skinny. The roots just go down into the thing, and it goes all the way down into this fish tank and covers the whole back end there. And then in here we got the hill stream. You can see a hill stream right there. There's also one of the rainbow fish got over. There's the longfin platinums in here as well, which I've got to organize all these fish, get new homes for them. But when it's like a jungle like this, sometimes it's just so hard to just tear this apart. Like the business part of me is like, oh, I just need to rip it out and just get these tanks going. But man, it's beautiful. The hobby part of me is like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But we'll eventually have to do that just to get this all organized up here. And a big reason why I want to show you too. And this tank's just running amok as well with the Rotalia rotundifolia. You see little baby guppies in there. There's actually Cory cats in here and those Dalmatian guppies as well. Let's see if I can get a flashlight. Oh, I thought I had one ready. I'll have to grab it. But there you can see some of the Dalmatian guppies. Really, really beautiful fish. And those are on the website if you guys are wanting some. And then these are the red dragon multisquamatas. Also some pygmy chain loaches. Look at those pygmy chains. They got like this coloring on them. See how colorful those pygmy chain loaches are? They're not just a white and black. They actually have a little reddish tint on them. I don't know if it's from the granules or just them being happy or what. And also can't forget about the beautiful Philippine blues here. Absolutely love angelfish. Really, really personal fish. And these are 20-gallon highs. And it's got, I think, that's sage, dwarf sage, but it's gotten really long. And then there's tiger vow. So you can see where it's got the striations, kind of like a tiger. That's why it's called tiger vow. Really cool vow scenario. Real different. Oh, there's a good example of the tiger vow too. When it's really small too, you can really see the striping out of it. Also on the website. And then these are the white cross endlers. Really cool endler. And I think that's about it in there. And guppy grass. And it's cool how it's kind of growing back here with the phyllo moss as well. And then there's like dwarf sage grown in that. And then immersed Rotalia rotundifolia as well. That island was a lot bigger. It actually came out to about here. But I sold out a lot of that dwarf sage. Then I got rid of some of that phyllo moss just because the way it was all tangled in. Little babies in there. And then up here we got the Euchiensis melanitania. Oh, now you guys are going to be shy. They're all chilling, hanging out the whole time, wondering what I was doing. Now they're going to be shy. Jeez. And they're waiting for food right now. I went ahead and didn't feed them. Yeah, so they're waiting. And this is a Sicuensis, I believe. But I only got the one because the other one jumped, so that's kind of sad. Then this is just a mix. It was red and black guppies. Then I started throwing some randoms in there just to see what would go on with like the fire and ice. What else did I put in there? I can't remember. Maybe it's just a fire and ice with the red and black. But it does look like there's a wild that came out of it. There's this wild-like type Endler back here. Oh, there's one coming out of there. Pretty weird. And then these, I believe, are baby Sicuensis or either parvas. So I think these are parvas, and then these are the Sicuensis juveniles. And you got like the corkscrew valve that just goes on forever. Rotalia rotundifolia, just floating it. And then here, this is actually another one of my top 10 favorite tanks in the fish room. Is this one as well. This thing is absolutely beautiful. This is what you see from the couch. This is the view, which is really nice. You got the Nubius barteri, and then you've got the Christmas moss. And then you've got all these random, absolutely stunning guppies and endlers. So these were some of the really cool ones that came out of the pond when I was breeding them. Man, they're gonna be way too fast to look at. I can't put my hand there or we can't look at them. And I just stuck them in here because I do want to use them for future breeding projects. This Snow White Anubias. It's not very white though. But a big reason why this tank is so clean is because this guy right here. These things are always keeping it clean. That and the guppies help too. But with the combination of the guppies and the monos, you can see a huge one back there. I mean, I don't do hardly any maintenance on this tank at all. I don't even know the last time this thing's had a water change. It's been months and months and months. How many tanks do I have? Probably close to 200. And if you count those containers, I don't know if you count those little containers I have, then definitely probably 200. Look at that. That's like a green and red and kind of bluish. This guy's my favorite though. He has like this zigzag. He's like a starburst endler, or the blue star endler, with this like Dalmatian zigzag split tail. It's like crazy. Absolutely craziest endler I've ever seen. That guy's pretty too. But yeah, I gotta breed that guy. I think that would be a good female for him. Get her separated with this guy. That's goals here soon. And yeah, that's one of my favorites as well. That's pretty much the QT rack. What's going on with that? Are you still doing the whole lot alone, or did you find some help? So I am still doing the whole lot alone. Well, with Sarah helps me with your guys' orders and emails. Thank God for her. Because, yeah, it's a lot to do. But, yeah, still pretty much doing it ourselves. And our house is very much lived in, so mind our mess. we do live and do things around in our house. And then in here, the bedroom tank, we got the balancé crypt. And then we got the Hudulati, the bulbitis. So we got the Pandagaras. I can't. This is Marcella minuta. Yeah, I believe so. And there's shrimp in here, still all over the place. Wow. I didn't know if they'd make it or not with these Pandagaras and the dwarf neons, and then these ropefish. These things are really, really cool. That's why the water is half level, is because these ropefish are notorious jumpers. With that balancé crypt, this is like perfect home for them. They just entangle themselves into that. You can see how crazy and winding this stuff is. Pretty neat for a crypt. It gets huge. It's huge. Oh, that's cool. So you can see all three now. All right, and sorry if I'm missing any of your guys' questions. I just wanted to go ahead and look through these. Wow, look at all the Pandagars. Can you show off those albino split tails? Well, they're kind of downstairs in the main fish room. There's 7 sections to this fish house. And since we are just focusing on up here today, that's kind of the goals. What are you planning on putting in your pond? So up in the pond, I plan on putting a lot of stuff in there. We'll have koi, we'll have, so the top pond, I'll keep the koi up there. And then the like middle pond that I have, the little one that I'm working on right now, that's where we'll use to breed things out. It'll be like an egg collection. And then the one underneath it will be natives. Then outside we'll do some other tubbing stuff as well. I've got plans for a whole tier of that backyard that I just reset. Those ropefish are awesome. I'm hoping to get them a new setup too here soon. That'll be really cool. Talking to Ted Judy about that. And yeah, those things are awesome. What's the minimum tank size for ropefish? Shoot, I don't know. I probably wouldn't go under a 40 gallon. You know what? They're one of those fish that would do well in a 55. You know how there's like, man, what would I put in a 55? That's actually would probably be a pretty good choice for a 55 gallon. Anything 55 gallon or above. This is 125 high. So it's, I think it's 6 foot and 2 foot up, something like that, or 18. But really cool fish, really, really cool fish. And all right, if you guys got questions, we're gonna top off tanks here, and I'll be able to answer some of your guys' questions. Man, I love that tank. And with top offs, that's pretty much all I do. I gotta get the valves open, boom, boom, boom. Try to make sure it isn't above the water line, because I don't want to pull that back. You always gotta watch for that backflow. Oh, let's see. Guess I got a 55 off Craigslist this month. How many in a 55? They do like to be in groups, so you could probably do, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8. You can keep quite a bit in a group. Oh yeah, there's cory cats in here too. There's cory cats all over the place. Meow. Oh yeah, it just flows right in. I got the remote, which is nice. Do the plants like the overpopulated Endlers and guppies? They seem to be thriving. Yes, so they actually have a very symbiotic relationship with each other, the guppies and the plants. Get off the floor. Because as they respirate and move around and pick around on things, they'll eat the mulm, so stuff doesn't get stuck on the plant leaves. They actually, and they respirate, so CO2's getting in the column a little more. And also they agitate the water and move it around all over the place. So they're doing all kinds of disturbance within the water column, which is really beneficial to the plants because it's a light disturbance. It's not a heavy disturbance. When it comes to keeping planted aquariums, I gotta get this real quick. Don't want to do any floods here. This is dangerous doing live. Any YouTuber that keeps aquariums and running water would know that. But yeah, when it comes to the symbiotic relationship of these guys in planted tanks, it's absolutely amazing. But you want low flow, like if you can get some like small directional or water movement from a filter or something like that, it is helpful to keep stuff from collecting onto the top of the leaves, because what happens is when you get debris that sits on top of leaves, that algae will start eating off of that, and then that'll just start causing more algae problems as well. The reason why this looks like this is because we chewed through it putting orders out for Brazilian pennywort. That's why it looks like it's a little rankety. Because I mean they're functioning tanks as well. Like I said, it is kind of double-edged sword when you've got this nice of a situation and then you got to rip into it. But I mean, got to pay the bills as well. We got to eat. Got to get this pond done. That thing has been a money suck. But it's going to be epic when we do it. And who knows, maybe I'll do some ponds in the future. That's a new trade I could learn and maybe get into once I get this more organized in the fish room. It's kind of one of my goals for the future. So if there is anybody in the Indianapolis, Indiana area thinking about a pond after I get done with mine, maybe we can talk here in the future. Because I really enjoy building these ponds out there. Like, it's fun getting on the equipment and just thinking about nature and how she would operate outside if there was a water, like natural water spout or feature or spring coming from there. I love it. It's an art. Do you think that plants like a lot of flow or not? They definitely don't like a lot of flow at all. They like the low flow. And I'm going to get to these questions. There's a bunch of them now, I see. If you had it to do it all over again, would you still use tanks or just go with tubs? Definitely tanks, for sure. I could never do the tubs because you can't see. Like, there's one thing, like, seeing down on top is cool. But if you can't, like, really see around your tank, especially if they're planted and whatnot, like, you're missing most of your tank. So I got to be able to see it. I would always have glass or some kind of viewing panel or something. Because, I mean, that's just quality control. But I definitely do the system and the fish room a little different. For sure. But this was a great learning experience. I definitely like the individual systems. I would keep something more like that, but actually have like a recycling, recirculating whole water filtration system and program. If I did go into like a more industrial mass type of situation, which I've pondered. But that would be until we got another property. I get this here. Thanks. I'm gonna reach through the jungle just to feel for this thing. Usually get my armpit all wet. You see how I hang my nets here up on the lights? I just kind of casually stick them up there. That way, since they're QTs, they got their own nets. Will you ever feed any other fish flake or granules besides tetras? So fish flake, no, I will never feed flake food. I am not a fan of flake food.